there, cowboy.
Hey there, cowboys. Curses and madness be upon you all. I am Euclidean Vision, the emotional support, here with part 2 of 3 of a video that was originally meant to be one video, and then the idea I'd come up with was way too complicated and nuanced that everything took a little while to discuss. So if you check the last iteration of this video, I discuss all the tank abilities that Mimic Echo can steal with Echo Tech, and this video is going to be discussing the damage heroes and what she'll be able to copy and steal from her allies and enemies alike. On to Ashe. I've made a precedent of making mobility something that you can get from allies, so you can get it easily, so you can set yourself up positioning wise. So I'd say Coach Gun would be really good to copy from an ally for Ashe, and then Ashe's most powerful just regular ability, the Dynamite, would be one that you would steal from an enemy. Oi. Right. On to... Ooh. Oh no. I didn't think about you. Well, there you go. When you copy from an ally Bastion, you will get a full resource, there we go, of his self-heal. Oh, it doesn't consume resource when you're at full health now, so I can't even give an example of running out the resource. I'm not taking piddly damage from those things. So, if you copy from an ally Bastion, you get self-heal. If you manage to Echo Tech an enemy Bastion, then we have to give Echo... we have to give Echo a turret form. And that's hilarious, and I don't know what sort of cooldown to put that on. If you get stunned out of it, you can never copy it again an entire match, or you just keep it the entire match because you're that much of a badass. Don't know. Bastion's another anomaly. On to Doomfist. And with Doomfist, we could play with the Rocket Punch, but I think people would rather avoid that. Unless we could play with a double trigger idea that I played with Wrecking Ball, where you could use Grapple, and then if you did reactivate Echo Tech in midair, you would also be able to use the Pile Driver for an extended cooldown on Echo Tech. You could have it that if you steal from an enemy, you will steal Rocket Punch. And then if you copy from an ally, you get a sequence of Seismic Slam and Uppercut. Feels a little too much. Maybe the ally one could be Uppercut to allow you to access high ground, and Seismic Slam, as it hits more people and has the potential to do more damage, could be our steal move. Doomfist, probably maybe not the best character to Echo Tech on, actually. Unless we give you Rocket Punch. Aha, Gengu. Gengu's an interesting one again. Probably a really good one for you to copy from an ally, as I've again made the precedent about mobility. It would be Dash, unless you wanted to play with like a single use of Wall Climb or Double Jump, but that's again maybe a little too complicated and just making up cooldown numbers then. So yeah, Dash to copy from when you copy from an ally, and then if you steal from an enemy Genji, you get Deflect. That seems fair. And so Hanzo, all of his are about his projectiles. So either, as Mimic Echo is also a projectile-based hero, we could have it that copying from an ally will give you access to the Sonic Arrow, or it will make your next projectile have the effect of the Sonic Arrow once you re-trigger the Echo Tech once you've copied from Hanzo. God, that's complicated, but I hope that makes sense. And then it would be if you Echo Tech an enemy Hanzo, you steal Storm Arrows. That would make sense, unless you wanted to make it that copying from an ally Hanzo gives you a use of Lunge and maybe Wall Climb, and then Sonic Arrow is the one that you steal from enemies, as it's a bit more applicable to Echo's kit than giving her a multi-attack projectile, which would work with her kit. But I feel that's leaning her a bit too much towards the damage roll. But then we get Junkrat, so I think that would be good. Steal from an ally, copy from an ally, would give you the trap. I think that's really nice and simple. And then if you copy from an enemy, hell, why not give you 2 charges? But you can only activate them one after the other, with throwing one down with your right click, Echo Tech, and then right clicking again to detonate it. Maybe. And then the charge, however many charges you get of concussive mine, you then make the cooldown relevant to that. I think that's relatively fair. Again, that does lean her a bit too much towards damage, but what can you do? She is meant to be incredibly adaptable, so the ability for Echo Tech to suddenly have huge bursts of damage isn't exactly unprecedented. But when it comes to McCree, it's actually going to be a bit more utility-based, I think. Copy from an ally, get roll, pretty fair, right? And then copy from an enemy, steal from an enemy, flashbang. That McCree, you have been the easiest hero to do so far. That was very simple. Mei, I would argue, steal from an ally gives you ice block for personal survivability, and stealing from an enemy gives you the more ultimately utility-based, or the ultimately more useful in the grander scheme of things, ice wall. Okay, Mei, you were pretty simple as well. Good. Pharah. Ooh. Well, yeah, it's got to be her abilities, and the one that has the least impact on enemies would be the rocket boost. So unless you played with, again, giving her a full Pharah resource, and then stealing gives you the boost, or you have enemies give you the concussive blast, and allies just give you a boost. You can't fly, you just have to use that boost as you go. That could be quite a fair way to do Pharah. Reaper, yeah. Teleport, allies, Wraith form, enemies. Yeah. Okay, I'm devising a pattern that mobility comes first, then personal survivability, then utility. Except maybe when it comes to healing, because she's a support and I really wanted ally soldier to give you healing field. But that would be kind of fair for that to be an enemy thing. And either stealing from an ally gives you... I don't really like the idea of Helix Rocket, but sprint until you let go, and then Echo Tech is just immediately available again? Or you have it for a certain length of time, and then Echo Tech goes on cooldown for that length of time, or not at all, and you have to... That'd be interesting. Things like sprint that you can activate at will. Things like Harmony Orb would be quite interesting to think about. I think that's relatively fair, though. Copy from an ally, you get sprint. Steal from an enemy, you get the healing field. Unless we want to make Mimic Echo more of a reliable healer, in which case I'd argue for Soldier's healing field to be copied from an ally. And Sombra's a weird one because you kind of want Hack to be the ability you steal, because that's easily her most powerful ability. And the Translocator and Invisibility both only sort of help her get places, admittedly in different ways. You could have Invisibility, but then that only really allows you to get somewhere, whereas Translocator allows you vertical mobility as well as horizontal mobility, but it also offers you an escape tool. That was me failing at escaping. So yeah, I think Translocator would be relatively fair to copy from allies, early mobility, or gives you the potential to set up somewhere, go off and do your thing, kill some motherfuckers. If you as Mimic Echo get in trouble, like so, you can bail out. I think that's actually probably better for her playstyle, as she has quite low self-healing and sort of area healing in all. Symmetra then. Teleporter is really powerful. Theoretically. Yeah, I'd argue Teleporter, even though it's mobility, it's team utility as well. And it's permanent. Yeah, you get a permanent Teleporter stealing from an enemy that goes on cooldown for 12 seconds once it's destroyed. And if you copy from an ally, I would argue you get 3 charges of turrets. But that's it. And then that will put Echo Tech on cooldown for a long time. We've still got 1.5 charges left to go. So yeah, but you know, the sort of theoretical permanent utility you can get out of them, that's kind of fair, I think. Sim, you weren't too bad. Torb. Yeah. Copy from an ally. Oh, this one is hard because both have sort of clear points and advantages to them. Copying Overload from an ally would be good for mobility and personal survivability, obviously. And the turret would be pretty good to have early on so that you can set up. You're not really going to be able to copy the turret off a turreted up Torbjörn. But if you have the Overload to maybe get in, it goes on cooldown for quite a while though, actually. Yeah, that's a pretty long cooldown. Maybe turret could be advisable to copy from allies, and Overload is actually more sort of personally better for Mimic Echo's playstyle. Nearly there. On to Tracer. And yeah, this one's quite easy. Copy from an ally. 3 charges of Blink. Goes on cooldown for the whatever the length of the 3 charges is. And steal from an ally gets you steal from an enemy, sorry, gets you recall. I think that one's quite nice and simple. Happy days. Oh, Widow. And as we went with the trap with Junkrat, copy from an ally gives you the Venom Mine. Steal from an enemy gives you the grapple. Widow, definitely not a very good character to Echo Tech. And that brings me to the end of the damage category, and hopefully I will see you in the next video where I cover the supports and why I want Mimic Echo to be able to take healing more reliably than I've been discussing thus far. I've been Euclidean Version. Thanks a lot for staying with me. See you in the next one. Bye.